Welcome back to Panda Audiobooks. We have reached a massive milestone. Chapter 100 is finally here. In our last episode, Jian Wushuang escaped the Forbidden Ground with a legendary artifact, but the cost was high. His true power has been exposed, and he is now a hunted man. Today, the truth comes to light. Chapters 96 through 100 are an emotional and action-packed rollercoaster. As Wushuang flees the domain-level masters pursuing him, he is forced into a corner where he finally uncovers the true depth of the conspiracy involving his father. This isn't just a fight for survival anymore. It's a fight for his family's legacy. Watch as Wushuang reaches his limit, pushes through the pursuit, and makes a choice that will change the course of his journey forever. The hunt is on, and the truth is deadlier than the blade. Chapter 96 begins now. Chapter 96. The target appears. Your Excellency, please give me your golden dragon ring, the elder with grey hair said. Jian Wushuang handed him the ring without hesitation. Soon the elder returned it to Jian Wushuang and said, Your Excellency, the task has been confirmed. From now on, you are a two-clawed golden dragon guard of Golden Dragon Palace. Looking at the golden dragon ring, Jian Wushuang found that there were two claw marks which were the sign of a two-clawed golden dragon guard. Arrange a griffin for me, please. I'm going back to Dragon Palace, Jian Wushuang then asked. Okay. I will do it right now, the elder with grey hair said and nodded. At the very moment, a gentle middle-aged man in a white coat walked into the Golden Dragon subsidiary palace. Suddenly, the Golden Dragon subsidiary palace fell silent. All those present looked at that man. Yin-Yang Void Realm. Is he a Golden Dragon ambassador? No, he isn't. He is the governor of Blizzard City, His Excellency Lin Yun. Yes, he is. It is said that His Excellency Lin Yun is a very kind and respectable good elder. People in Golden Dragon subsidiary palace were all in shock. It was very rare to meet such a super master of Yin-Yang Void Realm. Jian Wushuang also looked over at that man. With a mild face, the gentle middle-aged looked elegant and cultivated, decent and smart. Besides, his eyes were very kind and warm. Generally speaking, a supermaster who was in Yin-Yang Void Realm had an amazing deterrent power. But the gentle middle-aged man was very kind and friendly, which made it hard for people to fear him. Mr. He, the gentle middle-aged man walked to the counter softly said, Your Excellency Lin Yun. The elder showed great respect. I'd like to assign a task. Please give me that task scroll, Lin Yun said very politely. Okay. Wait for a moment, please. The black-robed elder instantly went to take the scroll. Lin Yun waited in front of the counter with a slight smile. After looking around, he saw Jian Wushuang who was also waiting in front of the counter. Lin Yun suddenly felt stunned, but he did not express it. Little brother, may I know your name? Lin Yun seemed to ask casually. Feeling startled, Jian Wushuang didn't expect that an elder of Yin-Yang Void Realm would talk to him and instantly answered, I'm Swordsman. Swordsman. Lin Yun showed a quirky expression without saying more. Your Excellency Lin Yun, this is the scroll. The black-robed elder handed it over to Lin Yun and then looked at Jian Wushuang. Your Excellency Swordsman, your griffin is ready. You can go outside the city. Good. Jian Wushuang nodded and then left Golden Dragon subsidiary palace. After Jian Wushuang left, Lin Yun instantly asked, Mr. He, what is that young man's status? He is just a warrior of spiritual sea realm. Why do you call him Your Excellency? Your Excellency Lin Yun. That young man is great, the black-robed elder said with great admiration. Great? Could he come from Dragon Palace? Lin Yun asked again. The black-robed elder slightly smiled but didn't reply. But Lin Yun had got the answer from his smile. It is him. Lin Yun laughed brightly, and then quickly put down his pen, turning and leaving. Your Excellency Lin Yun, you haven't assigned your task, the black-robed elder promptly asked him. I'll come back later. Briefly replying, Lin Yun departed Golden Dragon subsidiary palace. Outside the Moonheart City, a golden-armored sergeant riding a griffin was waiting there. After arrival, Jian Wushuang directly sat on the griffin and then left for Dragon Palace. As soon as Jian Wushuang left, Lin Yun suddenly appeared there. A griffin. Griffins flew so fast that Lin Yun couldn't catch up with it, even though he was a powerhouse of Yin-Yang Void Realm. Staring at the direction where Jian Wushuang disappeared, Lin Yun lost his mild smile and turned cold. Turning his hand, he had a portrait. The young man in the portrait was quite similar to Jian Wushuang in appearance. It's him. Absolutely. It can't be a mistake. Scarlet must kill command. Jian Wushuang looked at the portrait. Lin Yun had an unprecedented killing intent in his eyes. No wonder they searched the whole Qianyang province but could not find Jian Wushuang. Because he had left Qianyang province and gone to Dragon Palace, being a disciple of Dragon Palace. Lin Yun clenched his fists. People only knew that Lin Yun was the governor of Blizzard City, who was a very gentle and respectable man with a good reputation. However, he also concealed another identity, a purple mask killer of Blood Feather Tower. I finally found him. I have to report it right away. Lin Yun immediately went back to report the news. The news shocked the whole Blood Feather Tower for a moment. Blood Feather Tower paid more attention to Jian Wushuang than to anyone, as he was the target of a scarlet kill command. In a dim study, an old man in grey stood there with his hands behind his back. And two black-robed men in purple masks stood behind him. Killers with purple masks, the best killers in Blood Feather Tower. In general, killers with purple masks were selected from super experts of Yin-Yang Void Realm. However, the two killers with purple masks now were standing respectfully behind the old man in grey. It could be presumed that the old man held an important status in Blood Feather Tower. It is confirmed that the target of Scarlet Kill Command is using the pseudonym of Swordsman. He has been in Dragon Palace for more than 9 months and showed his great talent. After 3 months, he has defeated a disciple of Profound Gold Core Realm and was able to pass through the 6th level of Dragon Gate. A killer with purple mask said respectfully. The old man in grey slightly narrowed his eyes, murmuring, "There are countless experts in Dragon Palace, the holy cultivation sanctuary. Even if all the purple mask killers of Blood Feather Tower attacked Dragon Palace at once, they would not be able to kill Jian Wushuang. Therefore, we cannot kill him until he leaves Dragon Palace again. Give out my order. Closely follow Jian Wushuang's every move from today. Report his behavior and experiences in Dragon Palace every 7 days. If there is a chance, the secret killer hidden in Dragon Palace should take action. His Excellency, Dragon Palace is a very hard to infiltrate. We paid a great cost to plant the secret killer in it. Should we sacrifice him?" A killer with purple mask instantly asked. "What do you know?" The old man in grey glanced at the killer with purple mask, snorting and saying, "As long as we can kill him, we will sacrifice the secret killer. If necessary, both of you could be sacrificed." Both two killers with purple masks were shocked by what he said. At the same time, they eventually knew what a Scarlet Kill Command was. Chapter 97. Exchange. Back at Dragon Palace, Jian Wushuang submitted his tasks. At Stage 1, 2,000 points were awarded. In Stage 2 of the task, Jian Wushuang received 4,000 points for killing 4 ordinary Dark Silver Guards and 3,000 points for killing the leader of the Dark Silver Guard. In Stage 3 of the task, there were 10 spirit beasts at the level of Exceptional Gold Core Realm. Each one was worth 1,000 points, and so the total points were 10,000. Therefore Jian Wushuang received a total of 19,000 points after adding up all 3 stages. Coupled with the 12,000 points won from the duel with Nangong Jie before, together with his own points, Jian Wushuang had an abundance of points now. After getting the points, he went to the Secret Pavilion immediately. In Secret Pavilion, firstly he needed to select a sword skill suitable for Sword Essence of Raging Fire. After picking and choosing, Jian Wushuang selected the sword skill of Blood and Fire. Sword skill of Blood and Fire was further divided into 2 volumes and its exchange price was 6,000 points. It was even more expensive than the formless sword wave that he had exchanged for previously. Subsequently, he received 3 notebooks again. These notebooks were left by 3 strong men who were at the top level of Yin-Yang Void Realm. The 3 notes had very detailed explanations for Sword Essence of Gale, Sword Essence of Earth and Sword Essence of Raging Fire, and helped Jian Wushuang a lot. Each one of these 3 notebooks was as valuable as the sword skill, and Jian Wushuang spent 6,000 points to exchange for these 3 notebooks. After that, Jian Wushuang began to exchange for some elixirs. 5,000 points for 1 bottleneck-breaking elixir. He exchanged for 3 bottleneck-breaking elixirs at a time, spending 15,000 points. 5,000 points for 1 golden sun pill which he redeemed. Adding this up, it cost him another 20,000 points. I thought my points were quite a lot, but now there isn't much left. Jian Wushuang sighed inside. After all these things had been exchanged, he had only 3,000 points. But all these things were extremely useful, especially the sword skill of blood and fire and those 3 notebooks. Both the bottleneck-breaking elixir and the golden sun pill were used to prepare for his breakthrough. After he swallowed first-class heavenly spirit pill for half a year when he was in the innumerable huge mountains, and coupled with his speed at cultivating due to the heavenly creation skill, his spiritual sea had expanded to the extreme and was at the peak of ultimate spirit sea after half a year, with boundless spiritual power. After this step was achieved, the next was to break through to gold core by any means. Bottleneck-breaking elixir, just as its name implied, was to break the barrier. After swallowing 1 bottleneck-breaking elixir, people could quickly touch that barrier, thus they had a chance to achieve a breakthrough. As for golden sun pill, it was used when making a breakthrough. After all, there were risks when making a breakthrough, because sometimes the barrier still could not be broken through even if they touched it. However, the golden sun pill could minimize this risk. These 2 kinds of elixirs, with astonishing high value, were extremely rare in the outside world. Even in the secret pavilion, 5,000 points was needed for only 1. At a lofty palace of the Dragon Palace. "My lord, Swordsman is coming back," a purple-robed servant of Dragon Palace said. "Oh." With brow lifted, Palace Master White said, "Has he finished his experience tasks?" "Yes." Purple-robed servant nodded. "His experience tasks were arranged and carefully selected by me in person. I thought he needed at least 1 year to finish all these tasks, while it only took him half a year to finish them." "Well done," Palace Master White said with a smile. She thought highly of Jian Wushuang. It was because of her high opinion that the arranged experience tasks were more challenging, since these tasks for Jian Wushuang were arranged and selected by her in person. He received sufficient points this time and should go to the secret pavilion to exchange for treasures. "What did he exchange?" the Palace Master White asked again. "This is the list of the treasures he exchanged for." A purple-robed servant immediately handed over a list. 3 bottleneck-breaking elixirs and a golden sun pill. Palace Master White nodded slightly. It seems that he is ready to remove the barrier of reaching primordial gold core. 3 sword essence notebooks left by the strong. Palace Master White smiled, with the normal expression. When she saw the last thing on the list, she frowned. Sword skill of blood and fire. People start to study that when they have comprehended sword essence of raging fire, so why did Swordsman exchange for it? Palace Master White knew that Jian Wushuang had comprehended both sword essence of the gale and the earth, but he had never comprehended sword essence of raging fire. Comprehending various sword essence at the same time can indeed result in stronger combat power, but everyone has limited energy, and becoming distracted will limit his achievements in the future. I hope this little guy is aware of this. Maybe he exchanged sword skill of blood and fire for someone else. Palace Master White secretly thought. Treasures in the secret pavilion of Dragon Palace could be exchanged by the disciples of Dragon Palace as long as they had enough points. As for the usage after exchanging, it depended on the disciple, as he could give this sword skill to others after he had exchanged for it. At this moment, Palace Master White also hoped that Jian Wushuang had exchanged sword skill of blood and fire for someone else. If he exchanged sword skill of blood and fire for himself, he would be too stupid. In the manner, Jian Wushuang had been taken away by Wang Yuan for a drink as soon as he came back. The third took a full 6 months to complete this time. Wang Yuan sighed. "Tell me, what were your tasks for Stage 2 and Stage 3, and why did it take you so long to finish them?" Without any hesitation, Jian Wushuang directly told him his tasks and the process briefly. F***CK, 10 spirit beasts of exceptional gold core realm. Wang Yu's eyes widened in shock. 10. Su Ru could not help gasping in astonishment. "Have you finished?" Wang Yuan asked again. Of course, how could I come back without finishing the tasks? Jian Wushuang laughed. Sh*T, you are too strong, Wang Yuan smiled and said. You are just at the level of spiritual sea realm, even without a breakthrough of gold core, and you could kill 10 spirit beasts of exceptional gold core realm. You are formidable. Just had good luck, Jian Wushuang smiled. Only he himself knew how hard and arduous it was in the past 6 months to complete the task of killing 10 spirit beasts at the level of exceptional gold core realm. And where is the second? Jian Wushuang asked. When he came back, he saw Wang Yuan and Su Ru, without Xianxia. The second's experience tasks were easier than yours, and he is also so powerful, so it took him only a month to finish all the tasks of 3 stages. However, he received a new experience task after he just returned Dragon Palace, and he hasn't come back yet, Wang Yuan said. Another experience task. Jian Wushuang sighed. The second was stimulated by the Earth Dragon list, and thus he is cultivating much more than anyone else, Wang said. Earthly Dragon list. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. He also longed for a placing on the Earth Dragon list very much, but his strength was still far from it. The second works very hard, so I also should work harder, Jian Wushuang smiled. Chapter 98. Excoriation. It was night, within the empty ground of a manor. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Streaks of scorching sword shadow were chopped out fiercely one after another, and the high temperatures seemed to burn the air. Soon after, Jian Wushuang sheathed his sword and stood still. As a 6,000-point valued sword skill of blood and fire is way better than formless sword wave in the term of power, and its moves are more exquisite. I can only execute the 5th move with my current ability. I have to study for a period of time before executing the 6th move, Jian Wushuang said to himself. However, it would definitely shock many if they knew that Jian Wushuang could execute the 5th move of sword skill of blood and fire. If a man could execute the 5th move of sword skill of blood and fire, it meant that he could pass the 7th level of Dragon Gate without difficulty. Everyone in the Dragon Palace knew that Jian Wushuang was most versed in the sword essences of both the gale and the earth. In addition, the sword skill of blood and fire was just exchanged from Secret Pavilion that day. Early morning the next day, Jian Wushuang entered the Hall of Fire, which was one of the 4 halls of earth, fire, water, and wind. Today, a palace master would give a lesson in the fire temple. Although Jian Wushuang had comprehended the sword essence of raging fire for half a year, he comprehended it by himself. Therefore, in the Dragon Palace, he would listen carefully to the palace master. Casually sitting in the corner of the fire temple, Jian Wushuang relaxed with closed eyes and awaited the palace master. The surrounding disciples of Dragon Palace looked at him from time to time with a weird gaze. His swordsman. Why does he come here? People in the fire temple comprehended the fierce fire realm, but Jian Wushuang has comprehended the sword essence of gale and earth. Does he want to comprehend the fierce fire realm? A man can comprehend 3 realms at the same time. Are you kidding me? Swordsman is too ambitious. The more ambitious he is, the more foolish he is. Trying 3 realms at the same time. Who is he? You are right. It's exceedingly hard to comprehend 2 realms at the same time. Even a peerless genius would suffer from fatigue if he comprehended 3 realms. Those disciples of Dragon Palace chatted with each other casually. Their voices were not loud, but not quiet, either. They did not care whether Jian Wushuang heard it or not. Whatever they said, Jian Wushuang didn't pay attention to them. He was still relaxing with closed eyes. Soon after, the palace master of the fire temple arrived. He looked at Jian Wushuang with amazement, and then sat and gave a lesson with his legs crossed. After an hour, this palace master of the fire temple waved goodbye and the listeners started to leave. Jian Wushuang opened his eyes and a smile emerged. Since half a year ago, I have poured through the sword principle of fierce fire alone. I was confused about many things. However, the confusion has been cleared up after the palace master's lesson. Jian Wushuang was satisfied with this lesson. He had benefited a lot from it and was enlightened in many aspects. After that, Jian Wushuang left. In the palaces of the Dragon Palace, white-robed Palace Master White was walking slowly. Palace Master White. A figure appeared suddenly in front of Palace Master White. Temple Master Yao. Palace Master White smiled. Did you finish your class? It is finished. Their comprehension depends on themselves. Temple Master Yao gave a slight smile and said, I came here for a reason. I saw the little disciple Swordsman in the class when I was imparting knowledge, Temple Master Yao said directly. What? Palace Master White was shocked and said, Did Swordsman go to your class? Yeah. Temple Master Yao nodded and said, The brat is noteworthy in the Dragon Palace. His potential absolutely could rank in the top 5 amongst all disciples of the Dragon Palace. That's why I informed you about him. I see. A serious expression emerged on Palace Master White's face. The next thing depends on you. You should exhort him not to waste much time comprehending the fierce fire realm. I'll leave, Temple Master Yao said and then left. Palace Master White stood there with a saturnine and gloomy expression. I didn't expect that Swordsman would try to comprehend the sword essence of raging fire. Doing 3 things at the same time. Comprehending 3 sword essences at the same time? What is he thinking? Palace Master White gave a cold humph and then directly went to the manor where Jian Wushuang lived. In the manor, Jian Wushuang was practicing his sword skill diligently. Swordsman. Palace Master White appeared. Palace Master White. Jian Wushuang put away his sword and paid his respects. I have heard that you have exchanged for the sword skill of blood and fire in the secret pavilion yesterday and attended the class of Temple Master Yao. Do you want to comprehend the sword essence of raging fire? The expression of Palace Master White grew cold. Yes. Jian Wushuang nodded. Stupid. Idiot. Palace Master White was mad. The martial arts way is fraught with troubles. You are a young talent and have deep comprehension of the sword essences of Gale and Earth. It's highly possible for you to combine the Gale realm with Earth realm in the future. You will be amongst the top ranks if you are in the Yin-Yang Void realm. It's also likely for your strength to equal or even outclass the Palace Masters of the 4 halls of Earth, Fire, Water, and Wind. You are promising, and our Dragon Palace also possesses the hope to cultivate one more top powerhouse. I have far higher expectations from you. But now, you are so overconfident that you want to comprehend the sword essence of raging fire. The cold gaze hardened in Palace Master White's eyes. Do you know that nobody has endless energy? Doing 2 things at the same time is the limit. Doing 3 things at the same time is ridiculous. I know that you think your strength will grow if you comprehend 3 sword essences at the same time. However, you will bear a greater burden. In history, some geniuses of the Dragon Palace had a higher comprehension than you. However, they could only comprehend 2 realms at the same time. Yes, there have been geniuses who comprehended 3 realms at the same time, but do you know their results? Take Ling Wuxia, a genius about 10 years ago in the Dragon Palace, as an example. He was a matchless genius. He comprehended 3 realms at the same time and combined them perfectly. When he was in the initial Gold Core realm, he could kill a powerhouse who was in the exceptional Gold Core realm. He was way better than you. However, his speed of comprehending the sword essence became slower and slower. His cultivation was even stalled in a small bottleneck for many years. And his speed of improvement was also lower and lower. Finally, he was overtaken by other geniuses. Hearing that, Jian Wushuang felt overwhelmed. He didn't realize that he would be excoriated as soon as Palace Master White met him. Swordsman, you should recognize that the road of cultivation will not be reset if you go awry. Do you understand what I said? Palace Master White looked at Jian Wushuang. I see. Jian Wushuang nodded. Jian Wushuang was acquainted with what Palace Master White said. Okay. I have great faith in you. I believe that your future achievement will be greater than those of Bai Cheng and Su Lai. Therefore, you can't let me down. Palace Master White became calm. Okay. I have said what I should say. How you walk depends on you. Go ahead. After saying that, Palace Master White left. Chapter 99. Bold Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang stood with a solemn expression. Palace Master White is right. To learn 3 kinds of sword essence at the same time is to do 3 things simultaneously. It is too difficult. But that is only for ordinary geniuses, not for me. Jian Wushuang didn't think he was superior and better than other geniuses. However, his circumstances were quite different. I practice the heavenly creation skill. It is a defiant form of cultivation. It is different from others. I have also awakened my sword soul and have completely mastered it, while others have not. Jian Wushuang clearly knew what road he should take. The burden was really too heavy for others to master 3 kinds of sword essence at the same time. But it was easy for Jian Wushuang to do it for his sword soul which had awakened. After staying in the innumerable huge mountains for half a year, he learned 3 kinds of sword essence at the same time, which was equal to doing 3 things simultaneously. But he still comprehended them at an amazingly fast speed, way beyond anyone's imagination. There were only 3 kinds of sword essence, which was definitely not his limit. If there was a chance, he was even eager to study the 4th sword essence of dripping water. After I have completely awakened sword soul, the speed at which I study the sword essence is much faster than others. With such a powerful sword soul, if I only concentrated on studying sword essence of the gale and the earth, I would be wasting all my talent. Jian Wushuang's eyes were resolute. He agreed with Palace Master White's opinion, but he would not follow that advice blindly. After all, he decided on what path he would take. 2 days later, the Temple Master Yao in the Fire Temple gave another lecture, and Jian Wushuang went there to listen once more. When Jian Wushuang appeared again, Temple Master Yao showed a little weird expression. In the lecture, Temple Master Yao directly said, "On the road of martial arts, do not get distracted. It is necessary to remember to devote yourself to studying one road until the end. Then the ultimate result you will achieve will be much better than those who are distracted." Temple Master Yao casually said it, but many disciples of Dragon Palace who listened to the lecture knew that he was talking about Jian Wushuang. So did Jian Wushuang. But he just shrugged with resignation. After Temple Master Yao finished his lecture, many disciples of Dragon Palace went out of the temple one after another. After leaving, Jian Wushuang indistinctly heard people discussing. Who did you think the words of Temple Master Yao referred to in today's lecture? Undoubtedly, he referred to Swordsman. Well, I guess so. He is particularly gifted at sword essence of the gale and the earth. However, he is insatiable, even expecting to master the sword essence of raging fire. He is so courageous that he could learn 3 kinds of sword essence at the same time. It has been so hard for me to obtain 1 kind of essence. It is said that Palace Master White had warned him in person not to do too many things at one time. However, it is obvious that he is not following her advice. He is too arrogant to follow the advice of Palace Master White. In a manor of Dragon Palace, Nangong Jie as well as other 2 disciples of Dragon Palace gathered together and talked about Jian Wushuang. Ha, that swordsman is so bold and naive that he doesn't even listen to Palace Master White. He insists on studying sword essence of raging fire. He will soon come to an unfortunate end. Learning 3 kinds of sword essence at the same time. Who does he think he is? What an idiot. I am treating him as my opponent but never expected that he is such an idiot. Ha. Nangong Jie crazily and madly laughed. He was very jealous of Jian Wushuang and bitterly hated Jian Wushuang. The reason for jealousy was that Jian Wushuang had made such great progress after he joined Dragon Palace for only 3 months. He hated that Jian Wushuang had defeated him in front of so many people that he lost all his face and his 12,000 points were gone. Now, Nangong Jie was very pleased to know that Jian Wushuang was so arrogant as to study sword essence of raging fire. However, Palace Master White who warned Jian Wushuang was furious after hearing that Jian Wushuang did not follow her advice and continued to study the sword essence of raging fire. Bastard. Arrogance. Ignorance. This guy, does he really think he is so great? Palace Master White was so disappointed about this. There were lots of disciples of Dragon Palace, even many outstanding and talented people, such as Bai Cheng and Su Lai who were senior people, and even Jian Wushuang, who passed the 8th level of Dragon Gate as soon as he came into Dragon Palace. However, she thought most highly of Jian Wushuang as he progressed so quickly, and she hoped that he would obtain huge achievements in the future. But now, Jian Wushuang was not satisfied with Sword Essence of the Gale and the Earth. He insisted on studying Sword Essence of Raging Fire. How could she not be sad or angry? Let it go, Palace Master White suddenly calmed down and said. He chooses his own way. Others can't force him to change. Since he wants to take the extreme way, just leave him alone. It's a shame given his talent. Alas, Palace Master White slightly sighed and quickly stopped thinking about it. After that, she put Jian Wushuang to a lower level in her heart. In the manner, Lao-san, I hear a lot of disciples of Dragon Palace talking about you, and they say you are at the fork of your cultivation. What's exactly going on? Wang Yuan asked with frowning. I also heard about it. Su Ru said. There is nothing special, Jian Wushuang immediately told them briefly. Lao-san, Palace Master White had warned you in person not to study the Sword Essence of Raging Fire. Should you not follow her advice? Wang Yuan asked, feeling surprised. Although what Palace Master White said made sense, I'm the one that knows myself best and exactly what to do next, Jian Wushuang replied. Really? Wang Yuan stopped frowning and immediately laughed. Lao-san, I trust you. Since you think this choice is right, it is certainly right. As for others, nobody cares what they are thinking. Even Palace Master White may be wrong. Obviously, Wang Yuan disagreed with what Palace Master White said. I agree with you. You should go your own way. What other people say is just a reference, Su Ru said. Jian Wushuang felt touched and warmed to the bottom of his heart, affectionately looking at Wang Yuan and Su Ru. Well, it's time for you to work hard at cultivating. Then your strength will prove that you were right when others look at you, Wang Yuan said and laughed. Of course. Jian Wushuang nodded with a smile. As time passed, Jian Wushuang persisted in cultivating his own way, ignoring the disciples of the Dragon Palace doubts. Whenever there was a temple master of Fire Temple using swords, Jian Wushuang would get there to listen to their lessons. Thus, his comprehension of the Sword Essence of Raging Fire did not fall behind at all. 7 days passed quickly. In his manner, Jian Wushuang finished practicing swordsmanship and was sitting beside the stone table. He took out a pot of wine and drank it. 10 days passed. After getting the bottleneck-breaking elixir, I immediately swallowed it. But I didn't sense the sign of a breakthrough until now. It seems that the first bottleneck-breaking elixir is unable to take effect. Jian Wushuang secretly sighed. Chapter 100. Going through the Dragon Gate Pass again. Bottleneck-breaking elixirs offered Jian Wushuang the possibility of breaking through the bottleneck. But it might not work. Jian Wushuang thought it was normal that he could not break through if he only took one bottleneck-breaking elixir. Therefore, Jian Wushuang swallowed another bottleneck-breaking elixir. I hope the second bottleneck-breaking elixir works. Jian Wushuang expected. At this moment. Ha ha. It's so boring to drink alone. With a bright laugh, a burly scarlet-robed man who carried a saber was walking here. Su Lai. Jian Wushuang lifted his brow. Why are you so free to come here today? Jian Wushuang invited Su Lai to sit down with a smile and then took out a pot of wine. As for Su Lai, Jian Wushuang did not mind him and even had a favorable view of him. Although Su Lai had vanquished him in front of many people, it was a fair defeat using Su Lai's strength without any tricks or schemes. Jian Wushuang accepted it. It was a good thing for him to be vanquished by Su Lai because he could have a deeper understanding of the Dragon Palace at least. Actually, it is Palace Master White that let me come here. Su Lai took up the wine above the desk and directly said. Palace Master White. Jian Wushuang was surprised. To be honest, Palace Master White has faith in you. After hearing about you comprehending the Sword Essence of Raging Fire, she immediately exhorted you not to do it. But you ignored it. She asked me to come here because she didn't want to lower herself to exhort you again, Su Lai said with a smile. Okay. I see. Jian Wushuang nodded and said, what Palace Master White said makes sense. However, I have my own reasons to insist on doing this. I understand. Su Lai laughed and said, therefore, I don't want to remind you further. However, I have to let you know that was following the directive of Palace Master White when I competed with you last time. Oh. Jian Wushuang was really surprised. Was it Palace Master White that ordered Su Lai to violently compete with him last time? As a rookie, it might not be a good thing to be too outstanding. Therefore, Palace Master White asked me to dampen your pride. In fact, it was good for you, Su Lai said. Ah. Jian Wushuang immediately understood. The birth of the expert was like iron tempering iron. So, Swordsman, Palace Master White is truly good to you. It doesn't matter if you don't follow her advice, but you must work hard. You should be sure not to let her down, Su Lai said. I will keep that in mind. Jian Wushuang nodded. Ha ha. You should certainly do so. I have said what I came here to say. I have also drunk wine. Now, I have to leave. Su Lai smiled and then left. In front of the stone table, Jian Wushuang sat there alone, staring at the flagon with calm. What Su Lai said is right. Palace Master White is good to me. I can't let her down. Now, I should verify that the road I chose is right. The top rule of the world was that whoever possessed the strongest strength was the king. Now, everyone looked down on him and regarded him as a man filled with hubris. Nobody would dare to doubt him if his strength improved to an unprecedented height. This kind of strength needed proof. In the Dragon Palace, the most suitable place to verify his strength was the Dragon Gate. In front of the huge golden penthouse, after entering Dragon Palace, two disciples of Dragon Palace were casually chatting with each other. Very good. You even competed with the level keeper on the 5th floor for such a long time. You will complete the 6th floor soon. Ha ha. Not too bad. It's better than last time at least. The two disciples of Dragon Palace were on the 5th floor, but their talents were just average in Dragon Palace. Suddenly, the black-robed young man Jian Wushuang slowly walked over carrying a long sword. Look. Swordsman. It's him. Does he also want to enter the Dragon Gate Pass? The two disciples stopped and looked toward Jian Wushuang. Under their gazes, Jian Wushuang directly entered the Dragon Gate. He has entered the Dragon Gate. Which floor will he be able to reach? At least the 6th floor. He has the strength to make it after he vanquished Nangong Jie. Now 6 months have passed. Passing the 7th floor is not a surprise. The two disciples were talking. They did not hurry to leave, quietly waiting. In the Dragon Gate, Jian Wushuang began at the 5th floor because he had gone through the 4th floor last time. The level guardian of the 5th floor was a green-robed man who had comprehended the Earth Sword essence. Jian Wushuang was defeated by the green-robed man when he went through the Dragon Gate Pass first time. Now 9 months had passed. Jian Wushuang competed with him again. However, the green-robed man was defeated by Jian Wushuang with just one move. Jian Wushuang went through the 5th floor of the Dragon Gate. Following the 6th floor. In a magnificent palace, Palace Master White sat on a chair and flicked through a book. The book recorded the comprehensions of a top expert. Palace Master White had been studying it closely over this period. Although she was a master of the Dragon Palace, there were still powerhouses stronger than her in terms of strength within Qianzong dynasty. Thus, she had to continue to cultivate. Suddenly, the gate of the palace was opened. Your Excellency, Palace Master. A purple-robed servant rushed in front of Palace Master White. What happened? Palace Master White put down the book and looked toward the purple-robed servant. It's Swordsman. He is going through the Dragon Gate, the purple-robed servant replied. Swordsman. Palace Master White raised her eyebrows. In the past, she did think highly of Jian Wushuang. But now, the status of Jian Wushuang in her heart was lower than before. However, she still asked, it's not surprising for Jian Wushuang to go through the Dragon Gate because he is a disciple of the Dragon Palace. He has gone through the 8th floor, the purple-robed servant said. So what? Palace Master White still did not care. But he went through the 8th floor merely by virtue of his sword essence of raging fire, the purple-robed servant said again. What? Palace Master White changed her expression. If Jian Wushuang merely went through the 8th floor, Palace Master White would not be surprised. After all, Jian Wushuang could almost go through the 7th floor when he vanquished Nangong Jie. He would surely make a great progress with his talent after going outside to cultivate for 6 months. Palace Master White expected Jian Wushuang to pass through the 8th floor. However, it was totally different if he went through the 8th floor merely by virtue of his sword essence of raging fire. It should be known that Jian Wushuang initially comprehended the sword essences of the gale and the earth. The sword essence of raging fire was comprehended later. She was angry about it. Jian Wushuang could go through the 8th floor merely by the sword essence of raging fire. Which floor would he go through if he also executes the sword essences of the gale and the earth? Are you sure? Palace Master White stood and looked at the purple-robed servant solemnly. It's true. The level keeper of the 8th floor told me that, the purple-robed servant replied. After obtaining verification from the purple-robed servant, the expression of Palace Master White grew more solemn. Go to the Dragon Gate. Palace Master White forsook what she was doing and directly walked toward the Dragon Gate. At the same time, it completely shocked the whole Dragon Gate. We have finally reached chapter 100, and what a journey it has been. Wushuang has survived the pursuit, but the revelations about his father have shaken him to his core. He now knows that the enemies he faced in his homeland were only the tip of the iceberg. To find the truth and save his lineage, he must become stronger than anyone in the Azure Heaven Domain. The disciple Jian Wushuang is gone. The Avenger has risen. Join us next time for chapters 101 through 105, as Wushuang begins a period of hidden cultivation to master his new artifact and prepares to take the fight directly to those who betrayed his family. Thank you for being part of this 100-chapter milestone with Panda Audiobooks. If you've enjoyed the story so far, please show some love by subscribing and hitting that notification bell. Here's to the next 100 chapters.